This is a sample of the information provided as part of the flexible training resources available through hasup.com. Our training courses are designed to provide training participants with an understanding of food safety and quality system elements and also offer user-friendly assessment activities and competency checklists to complete the training cycle. Document and data control. Key definitions for document and data control. Backup. In information technology, a backup or the process of backing up refers to making copies of data so that these additional copies may be used to restore the original after a data loss event. These additional copies are typically called backups. Data. A collection of facts from which conclusions may be drawn through the qualitative or quantitative attributes of a variable or a set of variables. Document. A document provides guidance and/or direction for performing work, making decisions, or rendering judgment which affect the safety or quality of the products or services that customers receive. Record. A record proves that some type of required food safety and quality system action took place. Sometimes documents become records. For instance, management review minutes become the record that a management review has taken place. Document and data control development. When considering the development, documentation and implementation of document and data control within food safety and quality management systems, the following information should be considered to ensure effective outcomes. What is data and documentation? About document and data control. Food safety program requirements. Storage of testing records and reports. Training matrix and training records. What is data and documentation? Documentation is data presented in a form that is meaningful to the recipient. It adds to knowledge and is relevant for the situation. Two types of documentation are policies and procedures. A document requires control if it provides guidance or direction for performing work, making decisions, or rendering judgments which affect the safety or quality of the products or services customers receive. Data becomes documentation when it is transformed to communicate meaning or knowledge, ideas or conclusions. By itself, data is meaningless. The attributes of an effective sample of documentation include accuracy, form, frequency, scope, origin, and time. Attributes of any set of documentation are relevance, completeness, and timeliness. In the context of contemporary food safety and quality systems, the term documentation may also be used broadly to include records and digital data. About document and data control. Document control is one of the most critical components of the quality management system. Effective document and data control ensures that a food business can be confident that they are using the current version of a document, and the information contained in these documents has been approved by management. All documents related to operational food safety and quality programs must be managed appropriately, and must be accessible for the verification of the operational scope of the program. The general requirement for effective document control is for each page to be authorized, and to include an issue date. All documents and monitoring verification forms should be available in a digital format, and may be photocopied from an original as required. All used forms and documents must be archived, recycled, or destroyed appropriately. Procedural and policy documents must be available for general use in a read-only format. Copies of this material may be printed, but general access to the alteration of such material must be strictly governed. The review of documents and records must be undertaken at programmed intervals to verify the operation of the food safety program. The food safety and quality management system should include specific requirements for documentation and data control, which may include responsibility and procedures for the management and integrity of records, standard operating procedures and work instructions, responsibility and procedures for the amendments to documentation, general document and data control, handling and storage, responsibility and procedures for how documents and data are protected from damage or loss, responsibility and procedures for how long documents and data are retained. The retention time for documents should be at least until the shelf life expiry of the related products, until any reasonable point at which consumers would be expected to have used or disposed of the product, or as required by legislative or industry requirements. responsibility and procedures for the communication of relevant safety, quality, industry and statutory information to staff and senior management. Considerations of legal privilege and confidentiality of all document and data applicable to every food business, including of personnel privacy requirements. Document registers and amendment registers are commonly used to provide verification for documentation control. In an age where computers play a leading role in the management of data and digital information, it is important that systems are implemented and maintained to ensure digital data is protected against loss or corruption. Such data may be securely managed through the implementation of structured system backups, which include defined contacts and responsibilities. Where an external contracted data or document storage service provider is used, the service provider should be managed through the approved supplier process to ensure appropriate outcomes. Documentation and records associated with any food business operation should be maintained and retained for a period that exceeds the shelf life of the product, including where final product customers may extend the product's shelf life. These may include documentation and records for HACCP monitoring, processing, production and distribution. Food industry or regulatory standards may also specify the time frames for document and record retention commensurate with the products or processes involved. Defined time frames should also be allocated for the retention and control of obsolete or superseded digital data or files. Food safety program requirements. The requirements of any science-based food safety management system include, but are not limited to, the following systemic examples to ensure adherence to relevant legislative requirements and food industry sector guideline. Elements that are common to any quality management system include policy, structure, training, awareness, responsibility, communication, documentation, and verification. Documentation and record-keeping requirements for packaging and labeling procedures that meet current and relevant legislation. Food standards legislation within the country in which the product is intended to be sold must also be considered. Written requirements for potentially unsafe production items. Preparation or plating time and temperature records. Cook-chill time and temperature records. Holding or display time and temperature records. Documented production process training for specified personnel. Nominated position responsible for monitoring production process procedures for preparation or plating times and temperatures, cool-chill times and temperatures, and for holding or display times and temperatures. Storage of testing records and reports. As with any management system, good laboratory practices rely on well-developed document and record control procedures to ensure traceability and appropriate outcomes. The following requirements should be considered regarding the storage of testing records and reports. Record and report archives should be designed and equipped for the accommodation and the secure storage of all relevant notes, data and outcomes of tests conducted, including final reports, quality assurance verification activities, and samples and specimens where applicable. Material stored in such archives should be appropriately indexed to facilitate orderly storage and rapid retrieval when required. Only personnel authorized by management should have access to storage archives. Movement of material in and out of the archives should be recorded to ensure traceability of items. All relevant records and reports should be retained for the period specified by the appropriate authorities or customers. Training matrix and training records. A record of training should be kept for every employee that undergoes training, no matter how short the employment term. Each record should detail the type of training given, the date, and brief outline of content and signatures of both the trainer and the trainee. Copies of any relevant formal training an employee has undergone externally should also be kept in the training record. Training records should be kept on file for the lifetime of an employee. A training matrix is a useful document to track and summarize all employees against all the different types of training that may be given. Degrees of competency may also be captured in a training matrix. Signage. Signage is an important part of the communicative processes within any food business and can further enhance the consistent application of high-level outcomes. As with other system elements, Signage should also be controlled in a manner which ensures it is accurate and represents current requirements. Signage should be managed in a similar manner to the way in which other system documentation is managed. Examples of ways in which this may be achieved may include maintaining a site-wide signage register showing locations in which signage is displayed, conducting scheduled audits of signage to ensure it is current and relevant, ensuring signage related to the food safety and quality program is updated whenever related systemic elements and requirements are updated. External documentation. External documentation must also be controlled to ensure available versions are current. This is commonly facilitated by including the name and version of external documentation within site document register formats. Examples of external documentation may include customer specifications, chemical safety data sheets, food safety validation references, industry, customer and regulatory standards and guidelines. Amendment registers should also be updated to show where updates to external documentation have been facilitated. If your food business supplies foodstuffs manufactured to a customer's specifications, it is important to consider any specific document and data control development requirements in relation to their items. Did you know that HACCP.com includes resources that allow you to create, manage and implement GFSI and HACCP-based food safety and quality programs? Improve your food safety and quality skills and knowledge? Train and develop your team to create better food safety and quality outcomes? Find suppliers and service providers to partner with your business? The information and training resources available through HACCP.com include a variety of formats, such as website content, MP4, MP4 and text, MP3, PDF and slideshow. Are you ready to take the next step in your food compliance journey? Visit HACCP.com today to create your profile and access the full versions of our food safety and quality information packages and much more.